What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Eric Wilson. Big news broke today. The New York Rangers pulled it off. They acquired Patrick Kane from Chicago. Amazing trade. And now the New York Rangers look like they could make a really deep run in the postseason with Patrick Kane in their lineup. Amazing trade. We're going to give you all the details and react to it right here on Fireside Rangers. So let's go ahead and get into it. Eric, how are you doing today, my friend? How are you feeling after that trade?
I mean, obviously, I'm feeling good right here. I mean, me and Anthony here were just at the beach when the news broke, and we literally just got dressed and sprinted home to come discuss this news. And it's a good feeling that it's finally official. This is something we've been talking about for like 7 months now. I remember when we first brought it up, everyone was like, "Are y'all crazy? Like, why would the Blackhawks trade Kane? Why would he go to the Rangers? It's impossible to do." And then now here we are talking about it. So to all the haters, I'm always right. Always remember that. But
Eric is always right. We were crazy then. We're not crazy now because Patrick Kane is on the New York Rangers. But Eric, I know you've got the details. Break them down. What did the Rangers give up to acquire Patrick Kane?
practically nothing. With Kane only wanting to come to the Rangers, it was kind of just like jury's choice of like really what he wanted to give up for this, and it was pretty good. It's a 2023 conditional second round pick. The condition is that it becomes a 2024 or 2025 first round pick if we make it to the conference finals this year, which is now looking more and more likely by the day, and a fourth round pick. And for that, we receive Patrick Kane and only have to pay 25% of his salary. Chicago retained half of it, and Arizona is going to be the third team retaining the other 25% of that salary. So we are going to be paying Patrick Kane, arguably the greatest American-born player of all time, $2.625 million this year.
It's an absolute bargain. I can't believe that Chris Drury pulled us off. And you know what's crazy about it, Eric, is like this isn't the only blockbuster trade that Chris Drury did pull off. You would think that most teams trade for Patrick Kane, that's it, or a trade for Tarasenko, that would be it. But Drury did both. He pulled them both off, and it's going to be official. I think it's after 5 p.m. it becomes official that the Rangers have made this trade. And Chris Drury, I mean, what a guy. GM of the year, the way that he's constructed this roster, the kid line all the way to Tarasenko to Patrick Kane. Truly unbelievable. Like, I can't believe that he was able to pull off both trades in the same calendar year right ahead of the deadline.
I know, and like it was always like Patrick Kane was kind of like a pipe dream. We went out, we got Tarasenko, and everyone was like, "All right, we can like put these rumors to bed. It's done." Even Patrick Kane himself had a quote where he was like openly disappointed. Like he's like, "Damn, like I guess they just found someone else, and I won't be there." And then Drury said, "Just hold on, just a minute. Let me cook real quick." And, the Rangers are going to be working with very little cap space for the rest of the season.
Yes.
But I don't think it matters at this point. This is like all in right here. We're going to be making a huge push for the playoffs right here. We're going to be seeing Patrick Kane playing his first game as a Ranger tomorrow, 7:30 against Philly. So he's going to be in the lineup right away. And most likely going to be playing with Panarin down there on the second line. You take a look at the lines right now. It's going to be first line Kreider, Zibanejad, Tarasenko, and then Panarin, Trocheck, Kane. That I would say that's the best top six in the entire league. And then you just look at the rest of the lines then there, because now the kid line's pretty much solidified as the third line. And now we have Tyler Mott, who we also just got back, Barclay Goodrow in the middle, and then Jimmy Vesey. Yep. That is, we've always talked about depth. That's always been the biggest thing this season. And all of a sudden, the Rangers are looking like the most depth-filled team in the entire league. There's not a single player that I'm like scared to have on the ice during all four of those lines.
I mean, it's pretty amazing how Chris Drury was able to fill out all of the lines in the month of February alone, right? Like he pretty much reworked the whole roster, added depth to the bottom half, and then turned the top six into the most star-studded lineup in the NHL, arguably. And of course, we're getting a beautiful reunion, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, Panarin started off his career in Chicago with Patrick Kane. I don't think Panarin would be the NHL player that he is right now without Kane. They had amazing chemistry. It was kind of just like they were like meant to play with each other. And I remember when Panarin was eventually dealt to the Blue Jackets, it was like a big thing. Like Kane was extremely disappointed with Chicago's management and stuff. And then eventually, Panarin came to us. And then I would say the fact that Panarin is on the Rangers is like one of the main reasons why Kane was like, if I'm going anywhere, I'm going to the Rangers. So that line is going to be deadly right there. Trocheck, who's like the best face-off percentage on the team right now, playing with Panarin, our best passer, and then now Patrick Kane, who has the best hands in the league and like a phenomenal shot. So we're going to be seeing that second line get a lot more ice time than for the rest of the season in the playoffs. And they're going to be producing a lot more points than we've seen, which, speaking of, Trocheck's been on a little bit of a heater recently too. I think it's like 3 goals in 2 games. Add in Kane, and it's only going to keep going up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be amazing seeing those two reunite. and play on the second line together. I mean, we know how great Panarin's been for his entire tenure with the Rangers, but this season as well, he's been really good. He had a 4-point performance earlier in the season. He had a hat trick a few weeks ago. Panarin's been playing great, and now you just throw Kane into the mix, and it's like, what can't this team do now with those two in the same line?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty incredible. You look at a guy like Patrick Kane, all the accolades that he has, 3 Stanley Cup wins with Chicago. That he literally was the reason they formed that dynasty that they had going there in like the mid 2010s. And then, he's won the Hart Trophy for league MVP. He's won the Ted Lindsay. He's won the Art Ross. Like,
he's won it all, man.
Patrick Kane is a game changer for the Rangers, and you look at other teams in the division, like the Devils went out and got Timo Meier. The Islanders, who are now sitting in a playoff spot, went and got Bo Horvat, or blockbuster. I don't remember which one it was. I don't care about the Islanders. And then the Rangers went out and they made 2 huge trades. First for Tarasenko, now for Kane. I would even say that Tyler Mott was a huge trade too, just adding on to that depth, having a good 2-way forward there who's going to kill penalties throughout the playoffs right there. So you really look at the Rangers overall right now, the only player that I'm like slightly concerned about is Nico Mikkola. Maybe he'll get his game together playing a little bit more now that Keandre Miller, also breaking news, has been suspended for 3 games. So we won't see the full team for the next couple of games. If we look a little sloppy, keep in mind we will be playing with 5 defensemen until we're able to bring back Braden Schneider and Keandre Miller, just cap reasons and stuff. So, but overall, I think that's like a really full team right there. Having one player, Nico Mikkola, who I'm just like slightly disappointed in, isn't going to, change up anything. You look at the team last season that we had where we made it like literally 2 games away from the Cup finals. There were a lot more cracks and holes in that team that I see right now. You had guys like Ryan Strome, who I'm just going to stop talking about Ryan Strome before I get angry. I'm not going to ruin my good mood, but this is a very complete full team filled with depth, and we have superstars. You look at the Rangers in like the last span of time where we were really good and we're going on deep playoff runs. In my opinion, the number one reason why we never made it like all the way was because like we lacked a true superstar. We had players who were like above average and good, but besides Henrik Lundqvist, of course, there was like no offensive star power, no defensive star power. But now you got Zibanejad, Panarin, Kane, Tarasenko, Adam Fox, Igor. It's like this is like a star-studded cast right here. It's like
offensively and defensively, and even if we do feel a little lack of confidence in one of the defenders, the offensive star power should more than make up for it, especially now with Tarasenko in there and now Patrick Kane as well. I mean, this is a very complete roster. Top to bottom, it's complete.
Yeah, and then the best part is the fact that we didn't really give too much up for it because we've made a couple of Patrick Kane videos now speculating, like, would it be worth it to trade it? What would need to happen for the trade to work? And our number one concern has always been that, like, the fact that Patrick Kane's 34 years old, we're probably not going to be able to re-sign him. This is a rental right here. We're going to see Kane help this team out throughout this year and this playoff run, and then he's most likely going to go sign somewhere else unless he just wants to take like a really deep pay cut for us if he wants to keep playing here.
Yeah.
And then the same thing goes for Tarasenko as well. Most likely a rental, especially when we have to re-sign guys like Lafreniere, Miller, Hedel. That's all coming up. So the fact that we really didn't have to give away too much of our future right there, it's huge. So masterclass by Drury. He has yet to miss. Keep letting him cook.
Drury doesn't miss. Keep letting him cook. But that kind of perfectly segues into the last thing that I really wanted to discuss, and that's expectations now, because the Rangers making the trade for Tarasenko, expectations, they grew, right? And now making the trade for Patrick Kane, it really is cup or bust. And so the expectations now are that the New York Rangers go very deep into the postseason and probably have to win the Stanley Cup Finals in order for this to be a worthwhile trade. I mean, again, they didn't give up all that much, so I think that it's kind of medium risk, high reward. Obviously, the reward is the highest that it could be, but it is, tough to look at this team and not expect them to make a deep postseason run or win the cup, right?
I mean, yeah, I agree. We've said a lot, the Metro, and especially the Eastern Conference overall is very good. You got huge teams out there that are going to be difficult to get by. New Jersey's good, Carolina's good, Toronto's good, Tampa's good, everyone's good. But at this point, looking at our roster, the only team that I'm not 100% certain we can beat is Boston, but they're having like the most historic season that we've seen in like a very long time. So like I'm confident against New Jersey. 7-game series, give me that in like 5 or 6. Carolina, give me that in 6. Toronto, 6 or 7. Boston, probably be like a close 7-game overtime series right there. but like we can do it, especially now after Kane.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there was ever a year to win, it's going to be this year. I think ever since we won the Cup in 1994, this is the most complete looking team that I've ever seen since then. I mean, though I've only been watching since like 2012. But
well, I do think that's the thing that Chris Drury is looking at is like he thought that the team was in a position. He thought it was, good, but not good enough. And so he went out there and he put his balls to the wall and he said, let's go ahead and make these blockbuster trades, put this full roster together and go for the Cup. But again, that's now Drury's expectation. He wants Gerard Gallant to lead this team to hoist a trophy. And if they don't, it's technically a failure. So I do think that's something to keep in mind is that now the expectations have elevated to brand new heights. The Rangers, they're going for the Cup. And if they don't, it's not going to be the season that people expected it to be, especially after a Patrick Kane trade. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team shapes out. Again, I agree. I think it's maybe the most complete roster, but if for some reason it doesn't pan out, we're going to look back on this and we're going to question it. But I do think right now, living in the moment, this is one of the most exciting moments a New York Rangers fan has experienced in quite some time.
I mean, I agree. When the season began, if you told me that we'd be entering the trade deadline with Patrick Kane, Tarasenko, Tyler Mott, I mean, it's Chris Drury. I might have been like, it's possible, but I doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it.
And no Vitaly Kravtsov.
And
keep that in mind.
Yeah. If you really think about it, throughout the span of the week, we've replaced Vitaly Kravtsov with Patrick Kane.
Yeah, so essentially.
Yeah.
And that's something that we talked about is looking at those lines. We've had guys who like Jimmy Vesey, he can compete in the top six, and now he's playing all the way in the bottom, like all the way at the bottom, and that's the depth that we've been talking about. This is a player who's like very good, very solid, good enough to play up near the top, and now he's playing on the bottom. So that just means that the lines are so good that you're having top six talent push all the way to the fourth line.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see this team play once Keandre Miller comes back off his 3-game suspension, because then that's like the first time we're going to see like Stanley Cup finals. If we make it, this is what the team is going to look like playing in full form. But I'm confident if there was ever a day to be happy to be a Rangers fan, it is today.
Today's the day. This will be the happiest day for Rangers fans until Patrick Kane helps them hoist the trophy, right?
Yeah, maybe he's going for 4. We'll see.
That's the hope. But that pretty much wraps this one up. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Let's go Rangers. I love the fact that Patrick Kane is on the New York Rangers. Super exciting day. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this episode and comment your thoughts on the Patrick Kane trade down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and ring the bell so you don't miss an episode. We'll catch you all on the next one. Have a good one, and
let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers.